This video is a part of the Merry Inspiration, and I have budget-friendly DIYs for you. So without further ado, let's jump right in. For our first inspiration, we're going to start with this shatterproof water globe, but I'm not going to put any water in here. I'm going to use snow. So I removed the suction cup. I wanted half of the globe to have like a frosted look. So I took a piece of masking tape and I just went from one end right over it to the other end. And then I'm using a little Mod Podge. I realized that the Mod Podge would have dried clear, so I went and added some paint. So here I'm using some plastic paint from Folk Art and just mixing it with the Mod Podge, and it gave it a darker glaze. And when I was satisfied, I peeled off the tape, but then after I peeled off the tape, I realized that it did not come far enough at the front. So I went back, just maybe added another half of an inch space, and then just painted that in. And now I'm taking these little wooden mushrooms from my stash. Got these from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to paint one with red top and the other with white. And then I took a little antique wax on a piece of baby wipe and just wiped in the stems. Now, why I did not use this as a water globe, because if you're going to put water in there, you have to make sure that whatever you are gluing down is going to stay, because if it doesn't stay, then it's gonna start floating once you add the water, and I didn't want to have to deal with that. So then I took this little gingerbread boy, painted it with one coat of white paint, and this snowflake, I'm using some ocean or pool Waverly chalk paint in pool, and just gave that one good coat. And now I am adding some little red dots to the mushrooms. I gave the white top red dots and the red one white tops. White dots, not tops. Next, I am giving the little snowman eyes and nose and mouth and a little scarf using the red marker. I love drawing the snowman and gingerbread faces, so this was like fun for me to do. Next, I took the sanding block and sanded down the sheen from the base, because I'm going to glue down those things on there, so it needed to be sanded down. And then I found this Christmas tree that had a lot of glitter on there. I removed the base, and now I'm using a little red paint to just place some dots on there to give it the appearance that they are lights or bulbs on our Christmas tree. Then I took the heat gun and dried that. And I wanted one of the mushrooms to raise a little bit off the surface, so I glued down a little wooden bead. And then I took the tip of the glue gun and make a hole in the plastic base there, and then I just glued in the Christmas tree. Next, I glued down this snowflake, glued on the next mushroom, and then I added my little gingerbread boy or snowman. I did not like how he was just snugged in the middle right there, and so I eventually removed him because he seemed like he was like lost in the sauce or lost between the mushrooms. Then I took my faux snow. I have this bag of different types of faux snow, and I'm adding it to the globe just enough. You don't want too much, because if you have too much, then it's going to cover the Christmas tree and cover the mushrooms and all of those things. So I just added a little of these foam beads from the Dollar Tree. These things are so messy. If you get any of this on the floor, oh boy, it's gonna take like days for you to actually clean that up properly. So after I added the snow, now it's time to add my base with my trees and stuff. And this is what it looks like. Now see, I had to pull it back out because here is where I said I did not like how the little snowman was just lost in the middle right there. So I found a small Christmas tree. I believe I had got these from Michael's when they had their post-Christmas sale. And then just glued that there and glued back down the other mushroom. And this is done. So next I am going to use some Mod Podge to add to the base or the surface, because that will help the snow to stick. And I went all the way around into the little crevices and corners, added enough Mod Podge, and now I'm adding back that. And then after I forced that in, I just flipped it over, and I love it. This is a snow globe, it's not a water globe. So here I'm just trying to decide which ribbon I am going to add. But as you notice, I was adding the ribbon without putting back the cover on there, and I didn't realize until I was almost done. And then I realized, oh, you needed the ribbon, you needed the cover. And so I did that, and now I'm going to cover that space right in the middle there. I am using a piece of braided jute cord, and I went all the way around, glued that down, and then I made a little red bow and glued that at the front. And this is almost done. So after I looked at it, I'm like, no, it needs something else. So I took a piece of this fine yarn. I think this is Chanel yarn from the Dollar Tree. And I am going to go around right on the edge where the frosted section and the clear section is, and just border that, starting at one end and ending at the other end. So let me take a moment to just say welcome back to my subscribers. Thank you so much, guys. And if you are new here, my name is Christine and you are on the budget-friendly crafting channel. If you're coming over from any of the other channels, welcome. I hope you find value in the content that I share and consider subscribing. So this is what it looks like, my friend. I love it, love it, love it. Let me know what you think about this. And you'll see more of this in the final reveal. So this playlist is called Merry Inspiration this month. And this is hosted by Loli from Loli D's Creation, Katie from Lady Red Crafting, and their guest host this month is Natalie from Sparks of Joy Studio. Links will be in the description box below for their channels as well as the playlist. So now we're jumping into our second inspiration. This one was inspired by some graphics that I got from Creative Fabrica. These Christmas graphic. I downloaded those and just designed them a little bit in Canva. I will link that down below just in case you are interested in these. And I got the canvas panels from Walmart. Yes, 5 in a pack. I believe I paid $5 and change for it. So I'll be using one of those, and I selected this graphic that could easily fit on over the canvas. It was a little larger than the canvas, but that's okay because I'm just gonna fold over the edges after I Mod Podge this down. So I took the Mod Podge, spread a light coat over the canvas until it was very tacky, and then I placed the paper on top of that, used the parchment paper and some heat to just reactivate that Mod Podge. And on the topic of Creative Fabrica, they are giving away free downloads for a few days leading up to about November 20. And I have linked those on my community tab. You can check that out if you would like to get some free Christmas download from Creative Fabrica. And here I am just evening up the edge before I glue that down. I took this school glue and just rub that along the edges and then just fold that over onto the back. This is a very easy, budget-friendly way to create seasonal decor at no cost whatsoever, basically, because the download, you just print that off. If you have a color printer, then that's free. If you have to go out and get it printed, then that's gonna probably cost you something. Now on this sheet, I put together a series of words: Merry Christmas, Noel, peace, joy, joy to the world, in different sizes. So here I'm just trying to select the words that would fit on this sign, and I cut that out, and I didn't want it to go all the way across, so I separated the words, cut them apart. I wanted the joy to be at the top, so I eventually used a larger size font and then put that at the top and to the word below that. And then I just use this regular school glue to glue that on. Next, I found this laser cut Christmas tree in my stash. I painted it with one coat of this jungle classic green from Folk Art. But before I put that on, I am just going over the surface of our paper with a coat of Mod Podge. Then I dried that and then glued on the Christmas tree. I didn't want it flat on the surface, so I left the little glue dot that was on there. But if you want, you can remove that and add like a small wooden bead just to elevate it a little bit. And then I took a black ink pen and I'm just outlining the traces or the lines that were already on the Christmas tree. And then took the red paint pen and added some little lights. Then made a small bow with some jute cord, Mod Podged our Christmas tree before I glued on the bow, just leaving that little space for the bow to be glued on. Then I just glued it on with a little hot glue. Next, I flipped it over, and now for this to stand, I took 1/2 of a clothespin, painted that white, and then to give me some grip, I just used the X-Acto knife and scored some lines into the tip of the clothespin so that the glue can hold onto the surface because the back of it is smooth. And then I took cement glue from the Dollar Tree, added that. You can add hot glue for quick holding. Prop that up or in place. I used a little paint pen there, but then it wasn't drying fast enough and I needed something sturdier. So I took a piece of bamboo strip, painted that white, and I'm going to glue that right under the clothespin, and that will be for added security. So while it dries, it can stand upright. And this is what it looks like, my friend. Love it. But you let me know what you think about this one. Now we're on to our third and final DIY. This is a napkin that I got from my friend May over at Craft Away with May. And we're going to use this to make an ornament and some cardboard. So I grabbed this wood circle that was already painted. I used that to cut 2 pieces of the cardboard out. And then I'm going to give them both a coat of white paint. You only need 1 coat because I want to have a base color behind the napkin. Now they're dry. When I was tracing out the ornament, I forgot to leave the tip on there on the cardboard. So now I have to find another way of adding my little tip on. I took a red popsicle stick and just cut off both ends, maybe about an inch in length, and then tape that down on a piece of wood. Use my handy dandy Hardell drill and drill holes in there, and then I just opened a small section in my cardboard and I'm going to glue those tips in, and that will be what I will use to hang the ornaments. Next, I remove the layers. This napkin has 2 extra layers, so I remove those. And now I'm adding some Mod Podge. I just placed it on there until it became tacky. Then I added my napkin over on top of that. Now I'm making sure that where the hanger or the tip of the napkin is, it's lining up with the popsicle stick. Then I took the parchment paper and the heat press, and you all know how this works. We use that to reactivate the Mod Podge so that it holds. And then I flipped it over and did the same thing to the other side. You guys already know how to do all of this. But if you are here for the first time, welcome. I hope you consider subscribing. And if you're seeing this decoupage technique for the very first time, I will leave a video at the top here. You can check that out when you get done watching the playlist. And then once that was done, I trimmed it off, and now I am ready to move on to the next step. And if you've made it to this part of the video without skipping ahead, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Next, I took a piece of jute cord and starting at the tip of our popsicle stick, glue the end down. And yes, hot glue is hot, so you have to be careful. And I just went all the way around on the edge of our ornament until I got to the next side. And I did that for both of them. And now we're ready to embellish. I took a poker tool and just reopened the hole for our hanger. And then I had a piece of mesh. I just liked how the mesh looked on here. It just gave it a little different. So I just cut that down, fed it through our bow that I made, gave it a little shabby chicish look, and then I cut down 2 pieces of this little fern that I have here, and I'm going to add that. But here I'm just stringing the ornament with a piece of jute. I had a black button that I'm going to embellish now, and I'll just let you watch to see how I'm finishing these ornaments. Now, just to remind you guys that there is a playlist. Make sure to watch the playlist down below. Visit the host channels as well. That is Katie, Loli, and Natalie. So make sure to check those out. And if you're not yet subscribed, do so before you leave. So there you have it, my friends. Our ornaments are complete. And you'll see more of that in the final reveal. Now, this is our scripture for today. This is from Isaiah 45, verse 2 and 3. I will go before you and I will level the mountains. I will break down gates of bronze and cut through bars of iron. I will give you hidden treasures, riches stored in secret places, so that you may know that I am the Lord, the God of Israel, who summons you by name. Isn't it amazing to know that God knows our name? He knows everything about us. Now here we are for the cherry on the top. Love, love, love these. Now guys, let me know which one of these was your favorite. I know which one was mine. All of them. But let me know which one was your favorite. And don't forget to check out the host channels as well as the playlist. And if you are here, if you enjoy budget-friendly content like this, I would suggest that you hit that subscribe button and that like button and comment down below. Let me know that you're here for the first time. And to find me on social media to see where else I'm at, just check my Linktree address down below. There you will find all the links to reach me at. I'm on Whatnot, I'm on Etsy, I'm on Printify. That link has everything and everywhere that you will want to find me at. And if you've been wondering how you can help to support my channel, my Buy Me a Coffee link is also in my description box below. And there you have it, my friends. Thank you so much for watching. I enjoyed crafting with you today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more creative projects like these. And tap that notification bell as well so you never miss an upload. Need more inspiration? Click right here for other fun DIYs. Happy crafting, stay safe, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye!